Hey guys, welcome back to the Beyond Hope Project podcast. My name is Jason Tharp. I am your resident champion of hope, here to deliver another impactful podcast to you that will hopefully resonate with you and provide you with that spark to get started. Or maybe you're out on this path and you feel like you might have lost your way. Maybe some of the words in here will help guide you back to there, and that is the goal of this podcast. Before we dive too far in, there's a couple things I want to remind you of. We have a Beyond Hope Project newsletter. It's at beyondhopeproject.com. The newsletter link, you can click on it, scroll down to the bottom, sign up. It's a guaranteed under 2 minutes read. We don't sell you anything. It's just free stuff. I draw a weekly comic in there too that you can save to your phone or whatever, just to spark little ideas for you as you start to navigate through this crazy thing called life. And the other part is need your help spreading the love and the hope. So you're listening to this right now. Take a second and hit those 5 stars. Share it. Let people know about it. Tag friends. Like any way that you can help spread this word, I would really appreciate it, because we have a huge mission here, which is to reach lots of people with hope and show them that what's they may predict as impossible in their life is quite possible. And that's where I want to start out this podcast with today, is this idea that what power we actually hold in somebody else's story. And this is probably going to be more directed towards leaders, people in a leadership role. Maybe you're a coach, maybe you're a team manager, or just a thought leader. But also at the same time, you're also a leader of yourself. So in a lot of ways, this is a multifaceted, and what I'm hoping to be able to encapsulate this all into is a way for you to look at it and how it would affect you and help you adopt it in sort of way into your life. And that's the main goal of this one in particular. So one thing I've been thinking about a lot lately is the story that is told about me from other people, or the story that other people that have interacted through my life, what role they play, I guess I should say. Because I think a lot of times what we don't realize is that we can either be a part of somebody's story that turns into something really special because we were part of it, or we can be the catalyst for somebody's story to blossom because we were part of it, not in a good way. And I think that what we tend to do is we come into interactions with others, especially as a leader, with a limiting belief of stuff. And what I really want to call this on to is kind of like how the first doctor I dealt with diagnosing me. They had no clue who I was. They knew zero about my background. They knew zero about what I've overcome. They knew zero about who I was, but they knew a lot about one subject, which is what they deal with every day. That's not to discount that they don't know what they're talking about, but there's a huge factor that it's missing in that. It's perspective. It's being able to take yourself out and look in somebody else's shoes, especially when you're dropping some sort of thing, or you are in a position that you really hold a lot of weight in somebody's future decisions, because maybe they're turning to you because you're an expert in something, or they're coming to you because they perceive you as the gatekeeper to their dreams, which, by the way, you're not. So if you're tripping on yourself thinking that you somehow are some sort of savior for someone, you're not. You're not a guru. You're just a human going through experiences, and your experiences just happen to be further along than the people that are looking to you for guidance. But what you have is the ability to affect their story, to take the moment to sit down and listen to this person and to hear what they're actually trying to do. Use your expertise to help them get to where they want to go. Don't give them some sort of false belief or keep dangling carrots in front of their face, telling them that if we just get to this next thing, then that will be the parts. Also, don't kick their knees out to tell them that they can't do something, or that they don't know how to do it because you can't think in a way that they do. Sometimes what you feel is normal is completely weird to somebody else, and what is weird to you is completely normal to somebody else. But what you have is information that could help them get to where they want to go. And if you would help them, you would actually learn something from them in return that would also help you along your journey. Because the thing is we're all intersecting stories. We're all living in each other's dreams. These realities that we're building as we start to go through life are dictated to us through our perceptions of what we see in the world. If you want to change the way that you see the world, then change the things you do. If you want to stay the same, stay the same. Nobody's really going to care either way. But don't spend so much time thinking that you hold the power over everybody else's worlds, because all that happens is we're just crisscrossing storylines. What is happening in your dream is different than mine, but we might interact for a second, and I can help add to your dream by a word or a look or a glance, or simply by just saying hi. Because for so many of us, we're going through life invisible, too afraid to ask for help. We'll put our head down in the sand because it's much easier if they can't see me for me then to not put myself out there, because that's scary. Because I think I can overcome this stuff, but I'm too afraid to tell the people what I want to do, because what if I don't? Then they're going to judge me, and they're going to worry that if they associate with me, that they somehow look bad. And I think so many of us go through life this way, thinking that somebody is holding the key. We look for those blame points to say that this didn't happen because of that, this, or the other. When the truth is if you ever want to figure out who's the one to blame, just go find the nearest mirror. Stop thinking that somebody that is working with you or for you or is part of your group is somehow not valid enough for you to show them hope. And this goes for yourself too. It goes for the idea that you can give yourself the hope that you can actually make it to the other side of this problem because you figured out a path. Instead of thinking that your path is the only way and everything that you have in your head is the only way, be open to the fact that somebody you just met might actually know more than you, because what they're bringing to the table is themselves. You could be part of this great story. The first doctor that told me I would be dead in 7 months will never be part of my story. They will always be the catalyst that got me started. Now, that's not to say that that's a bad thing. And I certainly think that I have unwillingly or willingly, or, thinking I was doing the right thing, played that exact same role in other people's worlds. But most of the time it was because my limiting belief was so small that I could not see a different way. My intentions weren't to hurt somebody any more than I think that maybe that doctor's intentions weren't to hurt me. But what they did not do is they didn't take a second to realize that the power that they hold in my story. When I was struggling to figure a way out of this big dark cave and figure out how to be somebody that survives this stuff, they had the ability to hand me a torch that would have lit up the path for me to step forward. But instead, what they did was they threw a boulder in it, just because they took all their assumptions that was all past experiences and never bothered to ask simple questions. Like, what can I do? How can I be part of this person's thing? Maybe I might actually learn something from this patient. Now I have these great doctors around me who we have these great conversations about life and how you can change certain things, how reality might change as we start to see what we can believe, and how our confidence grows when we start to look to a different way other than the way that we draw limits on. But at the end of the day, all they are co-pilots. We are the only ones steering this ship. Yes, there are many other people steering ships around us, but as we crisscross, all we're doing is crisscrossing somebody else's dream. We can choose to make some of their dreams our reality. That's up to us. Or we can just keep moving. I think that so often we think that we're alone, but the truth is, as a whole, we are much stronger if we start to understand that our worlds matter, that you matter, that everybody around us is doing their best to try to survive. And if we start to realize that we have a lot of power in helping somebody else shape that story, you'll find that you will find a path for you that will continue to unfold, even when you're failing, even when you feel like you lost it. It'll keep showing up for you because that's what you're meant to do, is be a positive force in this world. You're a creator. The world that you want to create is waiting for you to create it. It's just up to you when you want to begin. So as you start sharing your story and being a leader for not only yourself, but for others, understand that self-leadership isn't about just you. It's about how your actions actually have an effect on others around you. So learn how to lead yourself better, and you'll be amazed on what happens with the people around you, how they almost elevate because you think that you're doing something different. But all you're doing is actually just being present and showing up and listening and not doing everything for everybody else. Give people a chance. You might find in giving the chance that that person might teach you something that you never thought was possible. And to me, this is what hope is about. It's starting that ignition for somebody else, walking the path, and when somebody falls, helping them back up, figuring out a way to connect the dots between their dream and yours. It doesn't mean you have to carry them forever, but it does mean that you are part of their story, the good parts, the parts that you can look back on and say, like, man, I'm really glad that I was part of that. They're doing great stuff, instead of I was the reason why that happened. Knowing that you might be the only one that knows that, but still, it's not the kind of ending that you want to have. You don't want your story to end in a bad way that no longer affects others in a good way. I think by and large, we all really want to help each other along the path, figure out how life unfolds, and to help them grow. And the only way to do that is to get over yourself. Yes, you might be in a good position to help others, but if you're only out to cause harm, you're not helping anybody, including yourself. Maybe you need to find the path. Maybe somebody else that you look down on is walking the very path that you need to be on. And maybe you should just pay attention as they cross over into your dream. And then they can help you create your reality. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. That felt really good. I'm going to be honest. It felt really good to kind of to say that because it's something I've been struggling with a little bit lately in a lot of the stuff that I've been working on, writing books and stuff like that. But yeah, I want you guys to do me a huge favor. Go to beyondhopeproject.com, sign up for that newsletter. It's free, under 2 minutes. I mean, I can't make it any easier. I make artwork that's new every week. We have a lot of books that are coming to the Beyond Hope Project, or beyondhopeproject.com as well. Like this podcast, let other people know it exists. You have all been on a sort of mission. As our paths cross here, as our dreams crisscross, I need your help in sharing this and spreading it around. So, guys, until I see you next time, congratulations on making it this far in life. It's not easy being a human. We all make mistakes. And if you're giving yourself a hard time because you've maybe fallen a couple times lately, realize that you can get back up and things can change. And it doesn't take a huge, huge catalyst for it. You can change right now by just choosing a different path. And I hope this helps. Power up.
Foxland Media. Think big.